Welcome to RainierAvenueRadio.World. For those of you who are just joining us on Facebook, you got to see a little of the preliminary to our conversation here. Today is Give Big. It's a day for folks who are unfamiliar with this. I'm going to put this very simply. It's an opportunity for organizations to receive funding from philanthropic organizations or from funders or from angel investors or people who just, you know what, they have $5 and they want to give to a good cause. We pick today and we say everybody give. Now that's a very generic kind of explanation. If you've heard about this thing called Give Big and you're wondering why on this particular day, a number of different organizations have been putting out messaging and information, well, that's kind of the simplistic explanation for what it is. Joining me from 501 Commons, and we're going to play like nobody knows who you are.
Okay, that's fine. Used to that.
And we're meeting right now, so tell me who you are again.
Hi, so I'm Camille Rochester. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for 501 Commons and the Project Manager for Give Big.
All right. Couple things going on here. Welcome to RainierAvenueRadio.World. If you're joining us for the first time, we're your community radio station, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Really reflecting South Seattle. We have programs that are created by members of our community, over 70 programs. If you're joining us on the TuneIn app, go to our website at RainierAvenueRadio.World and peruse, I like to say, our very robust website, because there are so many things that we do and that we've done. And you can go to our website and check them out. Same thing if you're on the Facebook page, check out the website. If you're on the website, well, you should also know that you can catch our live stream on the Facebook page. So let's start with 501 Commons. Yes.
All right. So Give Big is powered by 501 Commons. So we're a 501c tax exempt charitable organization, and we provide services to nonprofits that help them kind of build on their strengths that they already have. So we provide 30 different services, including finance, HR, technology, data solutions, board development, planning, leadership development, basically everything that a nonprofit needs to help them be more, what's the word for it? To be more effective and to deliver on their mission.
All right.
So yeah, we like to say that we are partnering with them as that kind of experts, innovators, to help them build on their own strengths.
Okay. Now, would you like to give a more eloquent description of what Give Big is to our listeners?
Sure. So yes, viewers and listeners. So Give Big is a 24-hour day of giving, of online giving. It takes place on May 8th. This year, and it is basically an easy-to-use platform at www.givebig2019.org, where donors can search for nonprofits that they want to support. They can donate to these nonprofits. Everyone in Give Big is a Washington State-based nonprofit, so they either are serving Washington State or are headquartered here and serving a global audience. So it's an opportunity for folks to provide donations that help nonprofits increase the hope, health, and happiness of our communities.
All right. And this was Seattle Foundation. When did this get started? And what was the connection?
So the Seattle Foundation started Give Big in 2011. And since then, they raised $113 million over that last 8 years. And, it came down to it that they were going to be unable to continue to provide the program. And at that point, a coalition of nonprofits got together and said, we want Give Big to keep going. And they approached 501 Commons and Encore Media Group to they're our marketing partner, to keep the event going. And we took it up, and this is our first year running it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing that. So I got a shameless self-plug, Rainier Avenue Radio.
Yes, please shamelessly self-plug.
Well, we would, if you like what you've been hearing on this radio station and what we do in the community, we certainly invite you to give to us as well. We amplify the diverse voices of our communities and proudly serve Seattle and South Seattle and all of our surrounding communities with opportunities to engage with critical issues and compelling stories, quality entertainment, and you'll hear a range of music and sports and different events, local and national news from around this area, current events, programs in different languages, created by members of our community. So your donations will contribute to delivering our digital media and broadcasting training programs. So as an example, if someone wants to be on the air at Rainier Avenue Radio, we'll provide you with training for free.
Nice.
We provide you with a producer and an engineer, and we want to make sure that you get your voice on the air.
Right, really lowering the barrier of entry so we can hear everyone.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And then that's it, providing everyone with an opportunity to share whatever it is, creatively or whatever you think is important for you to share. We don't edit that. We like it to be natural, and so there's a lot of different things you'll hear on our radio station. Also, this helps produce our community-created programming and live broadcasts from community events. And so we often broadcast live, like right now we're doing high school sports.
Oh,
and nice. We've broadcast from the WIA state tournament in basketball. We've broadcast from multiple different high schools, and we actually just did a baseball tournament at Mel Olson Field in West Seattle for the Metro League playoffs. The last game that we did, I believe, was Lakeside and Eastside Catholic, and we've got O'Day and Ingram coming up, and we're going to go through the district playoffs and actually all the way through the 3A and 4A championships in Pasco. And the opportunity to hear hear youth hearing their voices and during interviews after the game, and then getting announced, for your parents, friends, and family who can't come to the game, whether it's because they just can't make it that day, or maybe they live out of town.
That's awesome.
So that's part of what we do as well, and your donations help support that. And then also our internship program. So we have high school interns. We've been running this program for a couple of years. Our high school interns come in here and do everything from keep statistics to production work, and some of them even end up on the air. Give big to RainierAvenueRadio.World. But the other great thing about having a platform like this is that we get to share other members of our community and their voices and their interests. And I know that we have a couple people out here. Daniel, would you mind going and grabbing John or actually John and Karen and having them both come in here? So let's talk a little bit more about if you have want to bring up just a few of the entities that are going to be supported by today's Give Big. Again, shameless self-promotion.
Well, so there are, let's see, we've got, last count, 1,542 different nonprofits participating today.
Wow.
So besides 501 Commons, we are also participating.
I'm having John Galbraith step in here. Come on in, John.
Hi.
Well, and you can keep going here, John. I'm going to pull this chair over here. Why don't you have a seat right here? And yeah,
we're going to do a duet.
Oh, excellent.
Like Keith and Mick. Same mic.
No, you get your own.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
So we were talking about some of the groups that you support.
Yeah. So let's see. I think one of my personal favorites is Youth Care, which they serve homeless youth in Seattle.
Karen, why don't you come back here too? I'm going to give you a microphone. Oh, just come here for a minute.
We're having a party.
We're having a party.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folks it takes to make Washington State the beautiful state that it is.
So yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. Another one is SAFE, Seattle Area Feline Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
They are another one of the nonprofits that I'm going to support this year. They help cats and get them to homes and take care of them. I'm a big cat lover, so I always want to.
Me too.
Yeah, plug any sort of cat organization.
All right.
Yeah.
My daughter said our cat is as outside running around all day. Why does he have a belly? Cat's just
protection.
He's just saving it for the cat winter, which will never happen, most likely.
So joining me, and I just invited him. I said, "Hey, come on in while we're having this discussion, Mr.
Thanks so much,
John Gilbreth. How are you doing, sir?"
I'm doing great. I love Give Big. I love the
awareness that it generates, the sensibility that we all have, the power, the responsibility, the ability to contribute whatever amount we want to a series of our favorite organizations. I think of culture sometimes as those things that we cultivate around us in our own personal gardens, and we all have those places where we live and those organizations that we rely on day after day. And to have the awareness that those organizations need individual support, and that individuals can in fact make a difference with a $25 or $50 donation to their favorite organizations. I think it's great.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you a second about Earshot Jazz.
Okay.
But I wanted to just say hello quickly to Karen. Hey, Karen.
Hey.
Karen with Rainier Avenue Radio. I'm running around today making sure that everybody gets in here. What we're talking about, I was just shamelessly promoting Rainier Avenue Radio.
Yeah.
You are one of the persons who also has a show
Yes.
on Rainier Avenue Radio, Mojam Monday.
Mojam Mondays.
Tell us quickly about Mojam Monday.
Mojam Mondays, the radio show, showcases the weekly improvised music jam that happens at Nectar Lounge in Fremont. So it's a community hub where musicians and music lovers and visual artists come together to create. And now we have the opportunity to showcase that beyond the Fremont, Seattle area. We've had comments on our videos from 10 to 11 on Mondays from Hong Kong and Australia and beyond. And it's just been really awesome to be able to share this community with the greater community.
And these are the types of programs that your donations to Rainier Avenue Radio support, this type of programming. So if folks want to give to Rainier Avenue Radio, what do they do?
You would go to GiveBig2019/Rainier Avenue Radio.
All right, that's simple.
Oh, wait, did I miss the org? GiveBig2019.org/Rainier Avenue Radio. There we go.
Don't forget the .org. Okay, Karen, we'll be talking to you some more, but I wanted to get you in here really quick.
All right.
And I know you're going to be out there inviting guests in, and
Yes.
I'm going to talk to a bunch more people.
Okay.
So thank you, Karen. Now, I did not mention here Earshot Jazz Fest. Oh, wait, Karen, can you put that really close to the camera? This is a community radio station, so
All hands on deck.
We operate very manually here. Take a look at, there we go. That's what. Okay, thank you. Earshot Jazz Festival. Let's talk a little bit about Earshot Jazz Festival, John.
Earshot is Seattle's major annual jazz festival. It's part of, and in fact, the main, well, not the main, but certainly the largest aspect of the Earshot Jazz organization, 35 years old, nonprofit organization, formed in the mid-'80s to support this great jazz community that continues to grow and grow, continues to expand, and continues to both enrich this community and show the rest of the world what this community has going here. The Earshot organization has been around publishing the monthly Earshot magazine, which again this month has a great community focus with the Jazz Ed Ellington project on the cover. And we're also featuring the Jazz Ed Ellington project in concert on June 13th at Seattle Art Museum, part of the Art of Jazz. But yeah, the Earshot organization, really comprehensive programs to support this incredible jazz community, the history and the progression of it. And the Earshot Festival, last year was our 30th year for the festival. We put up 70 concerts over 30 days.
Amazing.
And
70 over 30.
In 22
Wow.
different venues around the city.
Yes, see, and I went to some of it. Was amazing. It was phenomenal. And
Nice.
go ahead, John.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, and it reflects this community. It brings a lot of great stuff into the community for the audiences, but it also features more than half the artists on the festival are Seattle area artists. More than half of the artists on the festival, and that's like well over 300 artists, were women artists, artists of color, women-led ensembles. Special focus, 40-some% of the ensembles on the festival were women-led ensembles. Nice. Last year. So always working it and working with an art form that is like ever expanding like the universe. And it I think really reflects and fits in really nicely with this city that we live in, because it too is ever expanding, focused on innovation, but also with a healthy respect to heritage and our culture and our roots and the ground that we occupy. So yep, happy to be here, and I'm happy. I just want to say thanks and really great work to Rainier Avenue Radio, because of having other people from the community in. Lord knows I have pitched plenty on fundraising drives on KBCS and other stations, and it's great that you're doing this, bringing other people in to talk about their work.
Well, I want to talk about it a little bit more. You said 70. Now, this takes place all over the place.
Yes.
I mean, Bremerton, Bainbridge Island.
Absolutely. Right.
Here in Columbia City.
For sure.
Of course, the major venues as well, smaller venues.
Yes.
And people, the artists literally come from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an amazing time. What does it take to put on an event of this magnitude?
I smile because we do it with a bare bones operation. We are not a large organization. We have a staff of 4. We have a lot of volunteers from the community that we work with, and just a huge amount of drive and passion for the art form and for the community that we serve. So I have some things in for 2020 already. The booking process is, I think of it like airports or something.
It's
where
always rolling.
It's always rolling, and there's always things that are going one way and another, or circling and coming in and going out again. And it's always in progress. And it's a really unique art form, because it has this kind of mandate to be different this year than it was 10 years ago. And in doing that, it oftentimes kind of defies convenient marketing niches, and defies even the appetites of the people who love it in the first place.
Well, I want to bring you back in on this conversation for a bit. I don't know if you've met John before.
I have not. Lovely to meet you.
Nice, thanks.
This is what the effort that 501 Commons goes to support by picking up the mantle for Give Big.
Yes.
I want to let you for a minute talk about that. Again, we're talking about, I think there's no better example to say why it's important than to have people come in
Yes.
and talk about why
So,
it's
I mean,
important.
Give Big really is impactful because we have so many organizations coming together. We have so many different donors coming together at all different levels, and really are providing this sort of, it's that day where we can say, this is the community we want to live in. These are the organizations we want to support. This is the type of world we want to live in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really great way for us all to kind of engage on how we connect and support that throughout the year. I mean, these are funds that are unrestricted, which is super important anytime you run a nonprofit, to pay for your technology, for your supplies, for management staff, for finances, things that government grants and contracts don't really pay for. So it's just, I'm floundering here. Pick me up.
That's a great segue, because what I'd like you to do, John, because sometimes people think these things happen magically.
Right.
Especially you've been doing a wonderful job with this event, and it just seems to happen, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And there are probably some things that you take for granted. But this is the time for folks out there who know and appreciate what you do with Earshot Jazz. And for those who may be unfamiliar or slightly familiar, let's talk about some of the costs associated with doing something like this, and the number of people that are activated by doing this type of event. And I'm talking about from volunteers to musicians to people who are working at venues that would not ordinarily be open unless there was Earshot, the advertising that goes out. So I know there's a lot, and you probably, but what are some of the things that go into making an event like this happen financially, so that folks can understand what they're supporting?
The highest number on the budgets is artist fees, of course, and we have never asked an artist to perform for the door or for no money. So
deserves a run.
that is primary. We are also a very active presenter without our own home venue. So we have to rent venues. And as I said, we're in over 20 venues last year. So most of them, they're rental. There's bringing in sound, technical things, working with a tech crew and a production crew for Earshot, which is a great crew of people. And, they're going all, excuse me, they're going all the time. It's, and the artists that are on tour from New York City, for instance, typically they're playing consecutive dates in consecutive cities as tightly as they can route them, because the money is not robust at all for them and they have to gain economy. So for us, it's usually artists coming in at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock at the airport, going to the hotel to check in, venue for sound check,
more expenses,
dinner,
airport,
hotels,
transportation,
right. Yeah, exactly.
all of these things
all that thing,
have a price tag attached to them.
Yes.
Absolutely. And the individuals that are doing the driving and working so hard. And then the musicians, oftentimes they're up at 6 o'clock the next morning and going out to the next city. So they're like the last ones to bed and the first ones up in the morning, and it's bad air and bad food and, hopefully good people. And so it's a lot of moving parts. And typically for nonprofit organizations, I think the general rule of thumb is that earned income accounts for about half of what it takes to keep the whole thing going. And it's certainly the case with this jazz festival that we do. It's a large event and we have to raise money for it every year. So we really rely on donated support. Ticket sales accounts for less than half of what it costs to put the festival on. And as I said before, we're not doing it lavishly. There's no town cars and five-star hotels. This is kind of a bare bones operation, but there's so much great music out there.
Well, it's a labor of love,
Absolutely.
that you keep ticket prices down because you want people to go.
We do that too.
Then through individual donations, you're able to, get there.
Yes, and we got some specific donated support just starting this year to provide free ticket admission to students and youth that want to dive into it. So we have that ability too, and that all happens because of donations as well. So that's a really important thing, and I really appreciate being here, and thanks so much for your hospitality.
Yeah, and just quickly, I want to get to some important information. I want to get you saying, but I remember talking to one of an intern, or she was working, but she was somewhere from East Asia. And
yes, we had an intern from Mongolia. This last year. Yeah, JoJo.
Wow.
She was a trip, man.
Who was here and just thrilled to be here to learn about how to do this, so that they could do maybe not something like this, but but bring acts back to Mongolia. But here, learning from Earshot Jazz Festival.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. It's a really international phenomenon, and this was very cool last year. She came in on the first day of the festival, and she went out on the last day of the festival, and she hit the internship thing really hard, plugging into the city, into the jazz festival, and working with the artists and the venues. They're running starting to run a club called Fat Cat in, and I'm not going to remember the name of the main city in Mongolia. Ulaanbaatar. No. Thank you very much.
I think that's right.
We're close. And man, JoJo was great. She had this terrific energy, and she was young enough to be able to hang late at night and be up in the morning. Yeah.
All right. So now you've heard a little bit, a little bit more. Here's the deal. How do folks out there, I know you want to know right now, for those of you watching us on Facebook, listening to us on the TuneIn app, on our website, and thank you all for listening. And the cool thing about this is that we have an international audience that listens to our program. Folks listen from literally all over the world. We broadcast in multiple languages. And so this is what we want you to do. Wherever you're listening from, and you feel like Earshot Jazz, well, I've attended, or I'm hearing about it for the first time, and this is the cause that you want to donate to. How do they do that?
They can drop $1 in the kitty. Online, it's earshot.org, EARSHOT.org. And really quick and easy, the website's all set up for you. And, we've been hearing from a lot of people today. It's such a great day. I love the energy of Give Big Day. $25, $50, any amount that's right for you. It's just
$500,
exactly
$1,000.
You know, that's part of the diversity of the community that we live in. There are people who have greater means and can afford, and in fact do afford larger donations, and that's a beautiful thing. But we also recognize that everyone is operating on their own budgets and in their own realities, and so even though we might think that we don't have any money to support our local organizations, just if you've never done it before, I recommend it because it's such a cool thing to do. It really makes you feel good, even if it's a $10 donation, $25 donation to get started.
You guys still have a match remaining. If I go,
we
to your
have
website.
activated our board members to make donations specifically to match Give Big donations, and so we can match dollar for dollar.
I want to make sure that our listeners,
it's Earshot.org.
What is the match? We didn't talk about that.
Oh, yes. So Give Big.
If you're just tuning in right now, I'm going to have our guests introduce themselves to you again before we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Camille Rochester. I'm with 501 Commons, who is hosting Give Big.
And I'm John Gilbreth, director of Earshot Jazz Organization.
Okay.
Yes. So Give Big provides the opportunity for nonprofits to enter a match that will match dollar for dollar the amount that is donated to their organizations. In prior years, there had been a stretch fund in which if nonprofits raised a certain amount, the Seattle Foundation provided a small amount in once they reached that. It kind of had petered out by the time Seattle Foundation was no longer able to do the program. We're hoping to bring that back. But for now, nonprofits have been working with their board members and with their major donors, with pools of donors to create match funds so that new donors, returning donors can make their dollar go further.
Yeah. And I think part of the reason with the Seattle Foundation, though I don't know the exact science of it, but it became enormously popular. There was that one year that they broke the internet. And, and you know, the beauty of that is like, I mean, there was a lot of money changing hands, but the beauty of it, I think, and I still think, is that it raises awareness in the community that everybody is connected to everybody else, and that it's our responsibility to help each other.
Yes.
So one more again, not for the last time, but we're going to make this stick. Where do they go to donate, to give to Earshot Jazz?
To Earshot Jazz, it's earshot.org, and the web, or earshotjazz.org can land you there as well. And it's quick and easy, and it is secure, and it's very much needed, and it's very much appreciated. Yes. So thank you so much.
And I was asking for 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, because there are people out there. This is a phenomenal, world-class jazz festival. 70 events in 30 days, all over the Pacific Northwest. Folks come from all over the world, and so by supporting this particular jazz festival, you are supporting a community. You're supporting multiple communities. But by the same token, $10, it makes a difference.
It makes a difference, and it makes a difference on both sides of the fence. It makes a difference. It will make a difference to you to make that connection. If you've never done it before, try it. It's a very cool thing to do.
So I want to give you a chance here for some final words, but in those final words, I'd like you to, if you know already about anything about the upcoming
I'm deep in it.
Jazz Festival, you can give us a sneak. Thank you, Pecan. And then you guys are year round too. We
had a concert last night down the street here with 2 artists from Japan, 1 from Australia, and 1 Seattle person in the band. So yes, we have concerts. Tomorrow night, Thursday, we have a free concert at Seattle Art Museum, 5:30, with Levon Hardison, the vocalist from the South Sound area down in Olympia. I have curated that Art of Jazz series for almost 20 years at Seattle Art Museum, and this year, like very quietly, I've only said it out loud twice, I'm just programming women-led ensembles on it. I think the issues of gender equity have been so monumental and so absolutely accepted as the norm that I just we got a long ways to go to even reach parity. So Levon Hardison is the vocalist, and she'll be in there. For the fall time, man, it's really an international thing. We've got so many people coming. We've got an ensemble from the Ukraine. We've got 2 ensembles from Cuba. We've got some things from West Africa. But the great Chucho Valdez will be in, who has been the cultural minister of Cuba for years, and he is really the patriarch of Cuban jazz, incredible pianist. Town Hall is open again, so our main stage will be at Town Hall for Chucho Valdez. We'll also have Cecile McLaurin Salvant in there. The great master from Brazil, Egberto Gismonti, is coming out, just like 3 stops in the United States. Really rare tour, and we get one of those here. Young geniuses like Gerald Clayton with his new band. Aaron Parks was his band, Little Big. Aaron was a genius that came out of the Seattle area and has been in New York for years and years. Speaking of geniuses, there's a young genius, Joel Ross, who is a vibraphone player. He was in last year with Marquise Hill, the last 2 years with Marquise Hill's band. But Joel has his, at 23, a major label debut on Blue Note Records. So he'll be in for a couple of days. We'll do a concert here in Seattle, and then we're also splitting some things up on Vashon with Vashon Center for the Arts. So just a huge amount of things happening. Allison Miller will be back with a couple of bands. Another one of the Garfield High School stars that came through the Seattle programs, a piano player named Carmen Stoff, will be in with 2 things. We're also doing a fundraiser for Washington Middle School and celebrating the pipeline of, jazz education in the city that went from Washington Middle School to Garfield High School. And Garfield High School right this day is in New York City at the essentially Ellington competition. And yeah, right, as is Roosevelt High School. So there's always so much going on.
Again, that the way for them to give to Earshot Jazz.
It's earshot.org on the World Wide Web.
All right. John, thanks for what you. I don't know if I asked you your title, because I know your title is promoter, janitor, whatever you have to do,
Right.
chauffeur.
Yeah, right.
What is the title that you have?
I am executive director of the organization. And when I came in 1991, I was the only employee, and the job was paid $10 an hour for 2 days a week. And that's how I dove into it. But we now have 4 people on staff, including myself. Karen Caro Pepe is the brains of the operation, our managing director.
Hey, Karen,
And Tara and Lucianne are also in the office. So it's a great crew. It's a love thing. And we're so happy to be part of this community. And yeah, it's earshot.org is the website, and Give Big. Thank you so much for picking it up.
Thank you for participating and for promoting it to everyone, to your donors. Because I was just looking up various venues you named and organizations. They're also doing Give Big.
Yes.
Zamm is doing Give Big. Vashon Center for the Arts is
Town
doing
Hall,
Give Big.
of course,
Town
is doing
Hall,
Give Big.
Roosevelt Jazz Boosters,
Uh-huh.
Garfield Jazz Boosters. They're actually all on Give Big.
Yeah, we're also collaborating with Langston this year. We started a really rich series there last year. I think Langston is not participating in Give Big today, but there's so many. It's a community thing, and it's such a great way to raise awareness in this community of our interconnectedness and our kind of personal responsibilities to support those things that we really love.
And at Rainier Avenue Radio,
Absolutely,
we are
Rainier Avenue
definitely
Radio.
looking for ways to get even more engaged and bring more of what you do to more members of our community.
It was so
wonderful.
cool last year when you had those live interview spots in the lobbies of the concerts. We're going to do this again.
Yeah, we went to some of the locations and did live interviews in the lobby area before the concert. And,
That's so cool.
It was just
It was very cool.
Together.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, John.
Tony
Thank
B,
you for taking the time.
Thank
to come
you
down
for all
here.
the work you do in this city, in this community. You make a huge difference.
All right, let's get
It's
somebody
appreciated.
in here. Feel free to hang around if you want to. You ain't got to go. You can hang around and meet some more folks.
I got my eyes on Geraldine's down the street.
And can you hang around for
I can hang out for a little bit longer.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
Daniel, would you mind grabbing somebody? And then let's get Natalie in here too. Now Natalie is our news intern who has
Awesome.
no concept of being called in here right
Oh,
now.
no.
Oh, wow.
That's the
Put her on the
beauty of
spot.
live radio.
That's
Natalie
the beauty of
Vest.
live radio and of internships is being surprised of what you're doing.
So yes, once again, this is our special edition of Give Big Live right here on RainierAvenueRadio.World. We thought that a cool thing to do as a radio station would be to bring some of the folks in. So you don't just read about it, but you got to hearing John.
It's
talk
people to
about
people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is.
There's an
yeah,
old adage in philanthropy that people give to people.
it's true.
There are institutions and there that take, and there are institutions that give. But in the end, it is people giving to people.
I think that's
Yeah.
one of the big.
Come on in. Who do we got out there? Come on in.
Everybody's in.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on in.
Good.
Come on in.
Hey,
Come
Lena.
on in.
Good.
So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you too.
come on over here, join us. Come on over here, join us.
Lena, I'm going up to Bergen next week.
We gotta talk.
Yeah.
Well, first, Natalie, come over here for a second. I know you're not anticipating being here,
Yeah.
but again, because I have to keep doing these shameless plugs for Rainier Avenue
It's
Radio.
not shameless.
This is
I mean, it is
this is an
shameless.
example of where your funding goes to help us. And Natalie, let's talk about what you do here.
Yeah, hi. I'm a producer for the news show. We do national, global, sports, local, regional news, all sorts of applicable stuff for our regional listeners and our national ones, hopefully. I'm working on producing the new show right now. So, yeah, you can catch it live 6:30 to 7 every Wednesday on the TuneIn app or our Facebook or our website.
And you came in and your role has just really expanded since you've been here. Essentially, this is pretty much your department now. And can you just talk about what the evolution of that has been, and when you came in, what your expectations were, and what's happened since that first time you came in?
Yeah, totally. Well, it was still pretty small when I came in. It's still
It
like
was non-existent.
Yeah, pretty much new when we came in. It started with just 2 interns, and then we started producing it ourselves, and then gradually we have a total of like 5 interns now, and it runs itself pretty smoothly every week. We're starting to really get the process down, I think, and making it pretty reliable, hoping to have like a recognizable format for our listeners every time, continuing to brainstorm on how we can grow the news department and what kind of stuff we want to be doing in the long term, as well as continuing to get better every day. So yeah, that's what we're working on.
All right. Well, just wanted to introduce y'all to Natalie.
Yeah, nice
Thank
to
you,
meet
Natalie.
you.
And,
Thanks
and
for
perhaps
coming.
you can bring a news story in later, and give us an example of what you'll be doing at 6:30, and
Yeah.
give us an update on what's going on around the community.
Totally. Sounds good.
All right. Well, here we go. Let's meet. We'll do this. I'm Tony Benton, and I am the station manager for RainierAvenueRadio.World.
I'm Lena Sandsmark. I'm executive director of Shunpike.
I'm Stacy Krinsky. I am a board member of Shunpike.
And I'm Camille Rochester. I'm the project manager for Give Big at 501 Commons.
Yay.
All right. So here we are again. Now, this is our powered by.
Yes.
And just an incredible entity, organization, what you do, who you do it for, the people who you work with, and the why you do it. And people may have heard the name Shunpike before, and not exactly know. Some way it's associated with philanthropy and goodwill, and but we could not do what we're doing without Shunpike. And there are a lot of other people who are happy to also be able to have it. So, having said that, let's talk about who Shunpike is.
Great. Well, I want to start actually by saying that it's all about community and reciprocity, because we couldn't do what we do without you. So thanks to all our groups who are 175 and counting groups who are members of Shunpike, as well as many individual artists represented through our storefronts program and our residency programs. I'll start by saying a little bit about what Shunpike, the word, actually means. It's because some people wonder.
I don't know. I thought it was odd, but I'm like, hey, catch a Shunpike, okay.
Is it a fish?
It comes from the Northeast from over 100 years ago. It's actually from the late 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. And it Shunpike is the term used for people who refused to pay on the turnpike when the turnpikes were built. They got together and collectively they built alternative routes that were free to use. We're not free, but we're an alternative route that's a lot more cost efficient and built by a great community, getting us to the same place, right? Being able to basically, which is facilitating the work of arts groups throughout the state of Washington, facilitating the opportunity for those groups to fundraise and partake in the culture of philanthropy that we all rely on to be able to do what we all do. That's what Shunpike means. And then that's where the word comes from. And so what we do is consolidate the back office needs of, like I said, about 175 arts groups at this point. So we do finance and admin work. We, when a group is under our umbrella, that's actually what allows them to ask for charitable donations and enables them to fundraise. And we try to make that as easy as possible, right? And then that way they can not spend so much time on how, the time suck of admin and finance work, right? Yes. And instead look at serving mission and working creatively and creating all of that great work that is such a huge public benefit.
And I can tell you, it makes such a difference when you're allowed to focus on the thing that you're trying to do, the thing that you are passionate about. And you know that you have a trusted entity like Shunpike behind you and supportive of you. It just makes, I just had to add that in. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm very happy to hear it. That's what we're all about.
Okay. Well, as a board member, let's find out more about you and as a board member why you're on the board and let's talk about Shunpike and Give Big.
Certainly. So I work for Beneficial State Bank, which is a bank owned by a nonprofit.
Can you just give us your name?
Oh, sure. My name's Stacy Krinsky. I work for Beneficial State Bank. It is a bank that's actually the only bank in the United States that's owned by a nonprofit foundation. And
what was the name of that bank again?
Beneficial State Bank.
Beneficial State.
It's based out of Oakland, California, but we have locations in Seattle.
And it is the one more again? The only.
It's the only bank in the United States that's fully owned by a nonprofit foundation, and we're a B Corp.
Well, I think that deserves a round of applause too. You get to meet a lot of interesting people on this day that come together who are doing things. Awesome, fantastic.
The thing that really drew me to Shunpike is just the need of community, and you're absolutely right. Artists need opportunities to be able to work on their craft and not work on the back end stuff. I'm a math nerd by trade, so I hide under the banking umbrella because I love doing math and love being a community member and getting out there and connecting people.
Shout out to all the math nerds out there.
Yes. Shunpike is such a great opportunity. I was telling Lena on our way here, I would love to be an artist. I wish I had an artist bone in my body, and I don't. So I have a blessed opportunity to work vicariously through all of you, do the things I'm good at to help you do the things that you're good at.
All right. Let's talk about some of the other entities at Shunpike who are, part of Give Big, part of what you do. I know you said 175, and I know you can't name all 175. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I just want to talk about some of the other entities that just might be top of mind, who are also participating today. And so folks can give to them as well.
We've got close to 50
I know I put you on the spot.
I know. It's so we've got close to 50 groups who are participating today in one way or another. Things top of mind. The Hansberry Project is one of the groups who are participating today. Community Arts Create are participating today. Weave Productions out on Bainbridge. Porkville Productions are participating today. It's so hard. It's like, what do you focus on when you've got 175 groups? And it's like, well, we focus on mission. And so the important thing is to go to either our website or to the Give Big site and find all of the groups that are fiscally sponsored by us. I think it's hugely important to support the arts. So I would, of course, recommend that first and foremost.
Where can they go to find out who all these groups are?
They can go to shunpike.org and find our groups that way on our website. And you can also go, you can tell me more specifically about the Give Big site.
www.givebig2019.org. So you can search just by like organization type. So if you search arts, cultures, and humanities, you're going to find a lot of the folks from Shunpike in there. But once you pull them off the website, you can find their specific page, and you can donate right through that.
It's important, I think, to note that one of the things I think is great about how we work is that when you go to look for art and culture and these groups, you're going to find the group names. You're not going to find Shunpike first, right? Mm-hmm. Because groups definitely keep their own mission intact, their own brand, their own identity, and their own name working under our umbrella. So you kind of have to know what you're looking for a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But I definitely recommend, explore Shunpike's website, find those folks that like mean something to you, and just double check it against Give Big, and just it's easy as pie. You can select all 50 of the Shunpike organizations and make a $10 donation to each. I know it's a lot, or at least you check out with your full little cart and just easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's going to get even easier. Actually, I'll say a little bit about our Give Big participation if I can. So last year,
that's why we're here.
yeah. So last year we raised money for a new website that is on its way, and it's going to be even easier to promote and find our groups when that it's almost done. It's really right around the corner, which we're excited about because we really see it as first and foremost, we're here to facilitate the work of other people, right? But this year we're raising money for one of our programs called ACES, Artists of Color Expo and Symposium. And this is
this was an event that you did last year at the Seattle Center campus, right?
2017, November 2017, exactly. And that was the inaugural year of ACES. Our next event is going to be in February of 2020. It's going to be also at Seattle Center, same place. Wonderful partners to work with at the Armory. And so we're kind of kicking off our fundraising campaign for that event coming up. We've got funding already from the National Endowment for the Arts, and King County and the City of Seattle are in as funders as well. So there's great ground support for this, but the more funding we get, the better we can make the event. So that's what we're fundraising for today.
So I keep plugging this. You may have said it again. How can folks find Shunpike? How can they find Shunpike? You want to give, you want to find out what's going on, how can they find Shunpike?
www.shunpike.org. Please go to our website and you'll be able to find us there. And Stacy, you were saying something very smart on the way over. Don't be scared by the word big in the title of today. Just be seduced by the word give, because anything you give is big to us.
Are you on a time crunch here? Because I want to make sure.
No, I was looking up the Give Big URL for Shunpike. So it's www.givebig2019.org/Shunpike. SHUNPIKE.
Thank you.
It is so valuable to have these folks here today to help with our giving and to let you know that behind the word or behind what you see, there's people who make these things happen. I know you were getting ready, just wanted to make sure we're conscious of your your time here. So can you kind of explain the relationship that you have with an entity like Shunpike, and how that works for people? Because we're talking about all these different things in there, and everybody seems to be related.
I'm trying to remember if 501 Commons has done consulting projects with Shunpike. I believe we have. You'll have to pardon me. I'm still relatively new to the organization.
No, you have actually. Yes, we've had good partnerships in the past too. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly the type of projects, but it's those back end services that help them then support their folks. Whether it be financial services, HR. More likely, I think you would probably be more along.
Finance,
yeah. And helping, it's just kind of that ripple effect so that we can help you guys can build on the strengths that you already have to go out and serve the community through all these different arts organizations. It's really is, the folks that you see at the Seattle Center were supported by other folks who were supported by other folks who were supported by, in the end, if you give today. The idea of Give Big is not to give one big donation. It's that when we all give together, we can create something very big and something very impactful.
I totally agree. What I was telling Lena on the way here is that, think about how much you spend in coffee a week. We live in a very coffee-centric Seattle area, right? Think about that amount of money. Can you give that amount today to a nonprofit? And you look and see all this community networking that we have. All of us know each other. We're all here to support each other's mission and be compassionate. So if you could even give that amount just once, would be really impactful to these communities.
All right. I want to give y'all, well, no, let's do this first because I'm going to keep doing this. Just to give big in general, how do folks go to give big to find out, well, I want to give to somebody?
Yeah.
How do they do that?
Go to www.givebig2019, GIVEBIG2019.org. As soon as you get there, you can just search really easily, either by the name of the organization, by the type of organization you want to give to, whether that be arts and culture or health and human services, or any number of the other 15 that are on there, or you can even search by zip code. And this is organizations, there's over 1,500 organizations all across Washington State. Some serve specifically Washington State and others are global organizations.
And one more again, if it's getting redundant, it's supposed to be. Shunpike, how do we find Shunpike and what are we going to find at Shunpike?
2 routes to getting there. givebig2019.org/Shunpike.
Yep.
Or you can just go to our website, shunpike.org, and you'll also find Give Big information there.
Okay, and there you'll find information about the other 50.
Actually, there you'll find information about all the groups that
All
we
the
represent and all of our programs. You'll find information about ACEs and our residency programs, our storefronts program that showcases about 32 individual visual artists a year, all the stuff we got going on.
All right. And I want to give both of you the opportunity for final words here if there's something that you want to say. First of all, thank you all for listening to us everywhere, in particular South Seattle, but always acknowledging our audiences that listen all over the world. So if you're listening from New Zealand or Australia or any of the another number of places, this is what we've got going on here. And you're saying, this is what I want to support. This is an opportunity for you to do that. If you've been listening to Rainier Avenue Radio and you want to know, well, how are we doing this? It's organizations like this that help us sustain the ability to provide you with critical community information. And by critical, that's anything that our community says is important to them, whether that's the delivery of music or funny stuff or just someone's perspective on how they see life. So yeah, that's what we've got going on here. And here's the deal. We may be ending at 2:00, but then this is going to run again and it's going to run again. So if you miss it, you can tell someone. They can go to RainierAvenueRadio.World on our Facebook page and you can see this all day long and we'll be asking you to give all day. But so final words.
I think this is such a great day for philanthropy and, in our case, for the arts. It's really sort of one of the most important days of the year. It's important to know that anything you do is impactful, and it's such an important way of participating. The arts would not exist without philanthropic giving. We're so reliant on it. And it's so important because I think at Shunpike we think so much about access. And it's both giving access to artists to a system that relies on philanthropic giving. It's getting them access to audiences, and it's also giving audiences access to all that is encompassed by the arts. If you participate in Give Big, you're giving voice to so many people who might otherwise not have a voice in our society and who make it so much stronger. Literally voice.
Literally.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? That's why it's so great to be here, actually. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, who otherwise may not have a voice, but who enrich our culture and our society so much. It's a lot of final words, but that's what I want to say today. Yeah. Thank you.
To piggyback on what Lena said, and also thank you to 501 Commons for taking the time to do all of this. This was a big undertaking for them, so thank you to
We're
that.
looking forward to do it for many years to come.
But, just think about your community. There are so many artists out there that need funding, so please look at what we do. Try to give what you can. And if you can't give any donative dollars today, reach out. We've got lots of artists that need help and volunteerism. If you even know of an artist that needs help with Shunpike, contact us. We're here and we're open and we're taking clients on.
And I can tell you, last year we got $10, we got $20, and it added up.
It did.
It all adds up. So your contribution makes a difference. What I'm finding out cool about the day is this changing of the guard thing, where people get to meet each other. So I don't know who we have over here, but I'm going to invite you to come over. And so I don't know if you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But I want y'all to come on over. Come on over. And let's find out who you are. Well, are you? How you doing on time over here?
I think I should probably wrap up by 1.
Okay.
That's all
so
right.
Let's start by. My name's Tony Benton. I'm with RainierAvenueRadio.World, and we're your community radio station. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us. My name is. God.
Oh no, you are.
My name is June Liu from El Centro de la Raza, and there I'm the donor relations coordinator.
So we'll do this again. Everyone introduce.
Sure. My name is Lena Sandsmark, and I'm the executive director of Shunpike.
I'm Stacy Krinsky. I'm a board member of Shunpike.
And I'm Camille Rochester, the project manager for Give Big from 501 Commons.
Let's talk about El Centro. I got to do my first thing. I was fortunate enough to be mentored by Roberto Maestas. And what an amazing human being that had this gift of whenever he spoke to you, you felt like you were the only person in the universe. He had this ability that he had to lock in and make a connection. Now that's, and then the work that he did to build, unity and community. And of course, the Four Amigos and their historical contributions to the city of Seattle. But the legacy of El Centro de la Raza that exists today, that started in, so yeah, I just had to put that in there.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
I haven't had the opportunity to meet him, but the thing is.
And hi, Estella and Miguel.
Sup, Estella. But Roberto Maestas did such a great job passing on his legacy, and in part of that, he really demonstrated what leadership meant, and so we try to incorporate all those leadership values in our programs and services.
All right. And tell us a little bit about what those services are, who you serve, and giving big today, and why folks who are listening, and whether it be on our Facebook page or through our TuneIn app or through the website, just familiarize us with El Centro and why we should give big today.
Definitely. So El Centro de la Raza, translated into English, is the center for people of all races. So that means we serve everybody regardless of race, economic background, citizenship status, age, so on and so forth. And giving big today, what that means for us is that our children and our youth will be able to have a better understanding of their identity. There are so many isms out there, right? And with where we are today in the world, I think that having the ability to really explore one's history does inform the cultural identity development.
Mm-hmm. And you have a number of different programs. You do events. The facility at El Centro now is amazing. You have affordable housing. You have more to talk about.
Oh, definitely. But yes, so there is a lot going on, 42 programs and services. And while that seems like it's a lot, it really is about being able to serve tens of thousands of people in need. So I think we have last year 14,500 and 9,500 families. And so we do that through, like you said, the affordable housing. We do it through all of our programmings. So other programs besides child and youth is the housing and economic development. It is making sure that everyone who wants to invest in themselves have the assets and the language to do so. So it's really great to see them being able to navigate resources both in English and Spanish.
And you support in this really holistic way, families and community with the multitude of services that you provide and the multiple groups that you support. I mean, everything from early education to again, English as a second language. I mean, when the community's in need, you don't specifically say, well, this is what we do. You say, what is that need?
Right. So we go to the community, and a lot of our programs and services are community driven. And so when we have people walk into the office and they try to explain what their situation is, we have a program for that. And I think it's because people trust El Centro de la Raza. And with that trust, we value it, we protect it, and we make sure that we always go back to them to see what their other needs are. With the demographics changing so quickly, it's just to be able to have like a good temperature reading of what's going on. It really does help inform us our service delivery.
And that's important because the climate on a street level, sometimes that takes a while to get to that, to get into the clouds, to the folks who are making decisions. So it's important to have people on the ground level who can say, hey, this is what's taking place now.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things our community needs before it spirals out of control. So one thing I want to do right now is for anyone who's interested in giving big, any amount and big to El Centro, how do they do that?
Yes, they can go onto the website, givebig2019.org, and the easiest way is if you search for us. So there's that search box, I think, on the right-hand side of the page. Just punch in El Centro de la Raza.
Okay, so you know the deal. To even start off with, one more again, let's give that information to folks so that we can make sure that they know. They don't have to go, I didn't catch it. How do they do it?
All right, listen up closely. It is givebig2019.org, and you can search El Centro de la Raza.
How are we doing on time over here?
I think it's about ready for me to go. I think I should wrap up with some last points about Give Big, which is if you're in previous years, Give Big has been only for Seattle or only for King County. It is open across the state now. It's also open to 501c4s and other organizations that are tax exempt but do not have tax deductible donations. So we're really wanting to spread the word that if your organization that you support is not participating this year, encourage them to participate next year. It's highly likely that they're going to be able to participate if they haven't been able to participate years in the past. We're also planning on growing the media presence for outside of the King County area. So we're really looking to continue and make this a statewide event. And share, give and share.
Anything in particular you want to say? And before you go about the relationship with El Centro, because then you.
Let's see. Have we done, I think that we've done projects with El Centro, but I'm not actually sure off the top of my head.
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I've been here for a little bit over a year, so if there was a partnership back then I'm not privy to it.
But you're listening to RainierAvenueRadio.World. This is our special edition of Give Big. Today is Give Big Day, and we're bringing guests in to talk about who they are and what they do. We definitely wanted to. I'm giving you time. I'm stalling.
My computer's like so slow.
And wanting you to meet some of the folks behind who you're giving to, or the organizations that are helping out in community, or some of the organizations again that are right there on that grassroots level that are part of making changes in our community. So I'm gonna end up in you again, but you get an extra plug because you're still here. So how do we give to Shunpike?
You can give to Shunpike by going to givebig2019.org/Shunpike, or just search for us at the Give Big webpage. You can also find Give Big information and information about ACES, Artists of Color, Expo and Symposium on the Shunpike webpage, which is shunpike.org.
So yes, we have partnered with El Centro de la Raza before. I'm not sure on what sort of project, but it could have been finance, could have been HR, it could have been board support, it could have been leadership training. We do a ton of different stuff. We work with about 1,000 nonprofits every year. So the reason why I'm like, I think we've worked together is because, we've been doing this for, I think ESC Washington, so that's Executive Service Corps Washington, which is what 501 Commons grew out of, is 40 years old. So it's kind of a looking back through the back catalog And we'd love to work with you again should you need any sort of management consulting services.
Well, I'd like to give you an opportunity for final words before you take off. 'Cause thank you for coming and staying.
Course, yeah.
And like you stayed like longer than you were originally planning to stay.
It's very interesting. I really like to be able to see the faces of people that, you know, get to benefit from Give Big, and the people who are doing the work all year long to make our communities healthy and strong and hopeful. I think my main point today is really a day where everyone get together and say, this is what I want my community to look like. These are the causes that mean a lot to me. This is, you know, the future I want to build. So I really encourage everyone to go to Give Big, find the organization you support, give them $10, or, you know, if they're not there, find them somewhere else, give them $10, encourage them to do Give Big next year, share, you know, support a peer-to-peer campaign where it's other people saying, hey, please give to this organization I care about. There's a lot of different ways to engage, and we hope that you will.
Well, thank you for staying overtime.
Yeah.
You know, I guess that means things are exciting here when it goes into overtime.
They are.
and you say, no, I need to stay here. Really appreciate what you do at 501
Of course.
Commons, and then again taking the time to come down here and talk with us. And I think this was important. And again, this is gonna, after we're finished today, this is gonna play over and over and over again.
I'll tune in so I can listen to myself
So if
and
you're watching
judge
or
myself.
You're listening and you're going, wow, I think I missed something. You can watch it and you can do it again and you can find out even more. So El Centro, let's get back to, why don't we reintroduce you for anyone who may have just turned in. And no, come on up. And there you go. And you take this one. And so well, first let's bring you on really quick. You want to introduce yourself?
Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kathy Wilmore, and I'm with Fathers and Sons Together. Glad to be here.
Okay, and we're going to talk to you.
Okay.
But why not just bring you in?
Yeah.
So you can hang out while we're doing this.
I like to hang
So
out.
we're talking about El Centro de la Raza, and make sure that you are heard. If we can have you lean in.
Thank you.
There we go. And let's just reintroduce you again to our audience and where you're from and why you're here.
Yes. So my name is June Liu, Donor Relations Coordinator at El Centro de la Raza. Thanks again for inviting us to the studio.
And you've told us a little bit about El Centro, and there's so much more to talk about, the history and who you serve. We talked a little bit about the programs that you have. And I'll start off by saying, introducing this, how do folks give? That's important. What I told you, get used to it.
It is most definitely important. So it is givebig2019.org. And once you get to that page, you can search El Centro de la Raza.
Okay. Now, you said you've been about a year there.
Mm-hmm.
What brought you to El Centro? And why do you feel that this is important for you?
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned earlier the Four Amigos, and I had worked at Interim where Uncle Bob was also able to lay down the foundation for that organization.
Uncle Bob, affectionately known as Uncle Bob, Mr. Bob Santos.
R.I.P. Rest in power. And so when this development job opened up at El Centro, I wanted to make sure that I was still a part of their legacy so that I can carry out what they had envisioned for all of us, because multicultural unity is important.
And you brought up, and I want you to continue there, but just King County Council member Larry Gossett, Bernie Whitebear, Uncle Bob Santos, and Roberto Maestos. Those are the Four Amigos that we're talking about. Who, what they did is legendary. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
No. It is legendary. And when I walk through the halls of El Centro de la Raza, I do feel like I'm stepping into a community that is so accepting of me on all sorts of things, like cultural, social, personal, professional. They're just so accepting. And it's become more of a home than I thought. And it's really the people who make it. It is the program participants who come back day in, day out if they're enrolled in the child and youth programs. And it's just fascinating to see one's development when they are able to grow through our programs.
Now, you mentioned something that was just kind of matter of fact, maybe it is to you, but you thought that it was important for you to learn more about the legacy, and then to get involved. Why do you think it's important to give back to your community?
Well, on this day of giving, one of the biggest days, I do think that nonprofits are doing the work. They're doing the hard work, the important work, the rewarding work. And so being able to give back really to El Centro de la Raza signals that you believe education is a pathway, that you believe that people can attain a self-sufficiency if they have the resources in multiple languages are accessible. And so it's how do I say it? It's holistic and it's intergenerational, and it definitely fills in all the gaps.
Let's talk about some specifics for our audience out there who are listening now or watching and saying, well, this is great. And let's talk about, if you can, just a couple of specific things that show where this donation will directly impact.
So we serve program participants 0 through 17 years old, and through that it's teaching young children what justice means. It is about attending summer classes to avoid summer melt, and it's about just diving into one's history by learning the art, the culture, and just really being proud of one's narrative. And the child and youth programs are so significant that we're actually establishing a physical presence in South King County. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yes. So just recent news, of course.
Breaking news. Natalie?
Yes. But yes, we're expanding into South King County, and we're going to make a purchase on an office building sometime later this year. And in that building will be 20 offices, which will house our programs.
This is breaking news. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're all really proud of it.
Wow. So tell us one more time what South King County, and this is going to happen. So what's the timeline?
I don't know the exact timeline. We just know that we have the funds, which was obstacle number one, right? Getting the finances. I mean, that's why we're here talking about Give Big.
Yeah.
I will let you know the exact timeline when it comes out.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you, but before I leave you, but don't go anywhere. How can folks give to El Centro de la Raza today? Anytime, but in particular on Give Big Day, what do they need to do?
They can go to givebig2019.org and search El Centro de la Raza.
All right. Don't go anywhere.
I won't.
Kathy, welcome to the radio show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's again, just kind of reintroduce yourself and your organization and tell us a little bit about what you do.
So my name is Kathy Wilmore, and I'm the co-executive director of Fathers and Sons Together. Fathers and Sons Together is a nonprofit organization designed to empower the relationship between fathers and sons. We do it in a number of ways through our programs and activities. We also have different programs to help our fathers we have twofold programs. We have our programs for our fathers that allow them to get themselves to a point where they can have relationships with their sons and strengthening their families. If it's economics, we have economic development. We have oh my goodness, we have all different types of programs to support them. And what's most exciting for the children are the activities that they share with their fathers. And we're just excited about what we do. We have all different types of programs. We have a basketball camp where we have the Watts come in and put together a basketball program. And while they're doing separate activities, we are empowering the fathers with ways to, if they need to clear their criminal reports so that they can be better employed. We're giving them that foundation. We're talking about parenting skills for the kids. We're talking about anti-bullying and how to, be strong and to how to avoid peer pressure and all types of wonderful things. We have baseball camps and fishing days and bicycle days, and we just have a lot of activities that we promote to strengthen that relationship.
is it just one thing? Wouldn't it be great if we could do this every day to get everyone together to constantly remind folks of all the amazing people who we have in our communities who are doing incredible work to support our community. So get used to this. It's not the last time. So for folks who want to give big,
Yes, yes.
How can they do that? How can they make that happen right now?
Again, go to givebig2019.org and search for Fathers and Sons Together and give.
One more again.
Givebig2019.org, Fathers and Sons Together.
See, they're looking like you may as well get used to saying that. What made? Tell me about how the organization was founded and why you felt that there was a need.
So, sure. My husband founded this organization based on a need. He is one of the store managers down at the Rainier Beach Safeway, and he interacted with youth all the time, coming in, making really bad decisions, stealing and just acting out of what they really should be. And he had a call to figure out, or he had a passion to figure out how he could make an impact in our community. So he got together with a bunch of different friends and local leaders to figure out what is it that we could do. He shared with them his vision of fathers becoming the head of their households again, and to be the mentors to help direct our young men to avoid bad decisions. So out of that brainstorm and out of that concept, Fathers and Sons was initiated. We have 2 sons, and thankfully, both boys are and were doing well. And so the other fathers, they all started thinking about what is it that keeps our boys from the corner, that are not stealing or just making bad decisions. And one of the powerful points was their fathers were active, they were positive, they were present, and that was the decision maker. So FAST was created on the premise of, our fathers being present, positive, and active in their sons, in their daughters, in their families' lives. And with that, we've evolved into developing a wonderful program to support that. That's where our programs come together, and we do activities and that are uniquely designed to bring them out. So if we said we were giving a pizza party on a Saturday afternoon, we really would not get their participation. Maybe 2 people would come out. So we strategically designed activities like a football, camp, or a basketball, or a baseball camp.
Baseball
camp.
I'm so happy that we got to participate this year.
Yes.
Fathers and sons.
Yes.
And watch the fathers and sons out there throwing baseballs around.
Right.
And
it's a beautiful experience.
We brought in a couple of phenomenal, professional baseball
Absolutely.
players from the community who were giving just an awesome event. We were really happy to be there that day.
Yeah.
And be able to translate that spirit not only through the radio but visually as well. Hopefully, we did a good job.
You did do a wonderful job.
Because it was more than a baseball game.
Absolutely. It's definitely more than a baseball. We actually call it an empowerment baseball camp because there's a whole lot of power that goes into this. So we have the Mariners out there, Dan Wilson, and all of the. We had 4 Hall of Famers out there that particular day, and that support FAST. And that baseball camp is also facilitated by Baseball Beyond Borders, which is a select baseball organization that has the same unique mission as FAST, which is to empower our youth. And so it's more than just a baseball. It's more than just a basketball. It's really a program inside of a program. The activities are just the bait to get them there. And we're very able to really get them there. At our baseball camp, we had over 200 fathers and sons at that Rainier Beach playfield. And just imagine, you see a diverse crowd out there, no problems going on, no disciplinary issues going on. And the reason why is because those fathers are there because they're present. And you know, when they're there, they're not allowing no mess to break out, right? So you can come from the Central District, the South End, West Seattle, it doesn't matter. There's no drama. There's nothing but love. There's nothing but the electricity of that relationship, of that father being so proud that his son participating in an activity with his son. We had fathers rushing home to get their own cameras so they too could capture that particular, you know, moment in time. So it's a beautiful thing. We're very passionate about what we do, and so we're excited about Give Big because small organizations like FAST needs the financial support to do what we do.
Let's say that again. Small organizations really need this type of help. And again, with El Centro, an organization that does so much for so many, needs this type of help. And the same thing with Shunpike, an organization that does so just across the board giving today. You know, and that's why it's great for us. It was like, okay, we could do this for Rainier Avenue Radio, but the point of us existing is to showcase what we do, and that means bringing other folks on.
Absolutely.
And providing this opportunity. So how can they give fast, fathers and sons together? How can someone donate? Again, if you like what you're hearing, which I know you do, and the impact that I tell you, the impact that you're having on our communities. Hey, Mark, one more again.
Give Big, 2019.org, and search for Fathers and Sons Together.
Search for Fathers and Sons Together. Don't go anywhere. El Centro, again, I want to come back to. Well, let's start off by how can folks give to El Centro?
They can visit givebig2019.org and search El Centro de la Raza, and there you can make a gift that's most meaningful to you.
Okay, so for you, being here and having had the opportunity to also listen, did you get to hear a little bit of what Shunpike does?
Yes, not the entire thing, but it sounds like a really great organization.
And fathers and sons together, and then when you do so, again, just describe your feeling today about Give Big and the energy, you know, and folks are going, can I make a difference? What if I only have $10? Or just your feeling today about this event, and in particular for El Centro.
So yes, it is very inspiring for me to see communities come together, because once all communities come together, then they can unite around a cause. And every little contribution that each member makes, it adds up to a very large impact. And so that's why even if you can give $5 or $10, that's okay. That's meaningful to you. And money is a very fascinating concept, right? But if you give us $5, $10 to support our cause, it adds up. And over the course of the day, if 100 people give $5, then you do the math. It all works out.
You're listening to RainierAvenueRadio.World. This is our special Give Big show. We'll be here until 2 o'clock, and then guess what? Give it about 5 minutes, and then you can watch the whole thing again. So if anyone has seen part of this and you say, well, what else went on during the 2 hours? I just got the last 20 minutes. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and go to RainierAvenueRadio.World. You'll be able to go to our Facebook page, and you'll be able to watch and listen to the whole show in its entirety. For those of you who are listening live to us right now, on our TuneIn app, and then also on our website, we'll figure out a way to get this information to you again as well. Of course, we'll put this information up on our website so that the groups who were here today, you'll be able to go directly to their links and donate. I want to get some more people in here. Mr. Bellis, would you see if we can wave a couple more people in here? But before you guys go, you got to do this. One more again.
Yeah.
All right. Let's first of all reintroduce yourselves to our audience again. Tell them quickly who you are, what you do, and then give them that go-to information that we need to have.
Sure. I'm Stacy Kritzky. I'm a board member of Shunpike.
I'm Lena Sandsmark. I'm the executive director of Shunpike. And if you'd like to support us and our event, ACES, Artists of Color Expo and Symposium, or if you just want to support one of the 50 or all of the 50 groups that are under our umbrella and participating in Give Big today, you can go to givebig2019.org and search either for Shunpike, or you can look under the arts and culture rubric and find all kinds of arts and cultural groups, some sponsored by us. And we'd be so grateful if you did. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. You don't have to leave. I got to bring somebody. You know,
Give up a chair.
Come on over here for the time. Sit down. And
Thank you so much for the opportunity for being here and in such awesome company. It's a real honor to be sitting next to you and hearing more about what you do for the community. That's so important. Thanks, Tony.
you're more than welcome. Thank you. And are you taking off now? Okay. Yeah, you can.
You want me to stay?
Well, you can. It's, I don't. I mean, see, he asked me.
I just want to give a seat. I just want to give place to somebody else.
We'll see some. Is Yvette coming?
Yeah.
All right. We've had our opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Sorry.
Ms. Contreras.
I know, right?
So, also join us. These faces may be familiar from Rainier Avenue Radio, and we are thrilled to have them as part of Rainier Avenue Radio and the roles that they play in community here on Give Big Day. Again, Yvette hosts Community Spotlight quite often, bringing in a number of different guests from our community, everybody from the superintendent of schools to the, I don't know what you call him, but the head guy in charge of the Seattle Public Library.
MT Marcellus Turner, that's my boy.
To people who they may not know the names of, but are doing amazing things in our community.
Yeah.
And then you have your own entity, God Is.
Yeah. A nonprofit.
Your own nonprofit. In addition to volunteering time at Rainier Avenue Radio a whole bunch of time.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And taking on so many different roles. You also donate financially and have supported our Creative Arts Digital Media Academy youth learning programs, providing youth an opportunity for math and coding training and to learn. So Yvette and Tyrone.
Yeah. And it's worth mentioning, I'm a native Seattleite. Go Quakers.
So I'm thanking you for letting me be here today, and also, you know, Tony, I'm glad to be able to put all those things in the one basket, because, you know, working in the community with the radio station, is a whole nother step. And also, you know, Tony don't know this part, we do the fundraising in front of the Walmart, and we've been announcing each and every organization we work with, you know, even you, Kathy.
That's right. Yeah, we do.
You know, Fathers and Sons, you know, the Detective Cookie Chess Club, and also Rainier Merchant Association in the beach, and also, you know, with Emery City Bible Fellowship, and also with God Is, and we're doing a lot of different things in the community, just one in one whole, you know, we're trying to make sure everybody be able to be unity. We want to be unity, because, and then thanking you for letting us be on RainierAvenueRadio.World. We on the board of that, and so, you know, just participating in the community in all areas. We just got through doing something. What we got through doing that?
Well, I was at watching the news, which I don't usually do, and it was an announcement that there's going to be a walk-in by the students to protest funding cut. So I had to quickly throw on my gear and going down there, and that was delightful. And then we heard about that they were doing teacher appreciation lunch today, so we went and helped with that as well. And then shameless plug, we're having this event tonight.
This is a low budget radio station, which is why we need your support. So now I'm going to show them, so we have to do this by hand. Watch the screen there. That's what we're talking about.
Black History Every Month event. We're doing this once a month, something related to Black history, but it's always going to involve voter registration, democracy voucher education, and watching some type of short documentary. This month will be Ida B. Wells. And we also emphasize when we register to vote outside Walmart as well. And thank you, ACLU, for restoring people's felons' right to vote. We're very proud of that. So yeah, we do that as well. And of course, we do fundraising.
Better than I can.
So all you folks out there, if you think you can't register to vote, you got to register. Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Even if you have an LFO, whatever that means. So yeah.
All right. Again, you're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio. Well, I want to go back to Kathy. Here we're talking about fathers and sons together.
Yes.
And the amazing work that you do. You talked a little bit about the impetus for getting started with your husband. So before I say anything else, how do we give fathers and sons together?
Absolutely. Give big 2019.org and search for Fathers and Sons Together. Give big 2019.org, Fathers and Sons Together.
Okay. And again, El Centro, we're going to finish, but how do we give? And then again, give us a little bit more about El Centro for a minute in case you're just tuning in, and then tell us how we give to El Centro.
Mm-hmm. So to give to El Centro de la Raza, you can go to givebig2019.org and search El Centro de la Raza. And all the donations that we receive today through Give Big will go towards our child and youth programs, and they are ages 0 through 17. And with our programs and services, which are culturally appropriate, they can feel more proud of themselves and have the confidence to reach their fullest potential.
All right. And Kathy, again, the same thing. I did ask you this question. I want to ask you, Kathy. Tell me just the feeling that you have on a day like today, where so many organizations and individuals and people and groups come together in the interest of saying, hey, what can we do to spread the word about who we do, and at the same time, make sure that folks who are interested in providing, financial support, which is important, to the folks who are out there doing this work. When you're in the room, when this day is happening, what is the kind of feeling for you that you get? Because it feels like this could be every day.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But what is the feeling for you as you're meeting? Have you guys met already, or did you?
No, I'm honored to meet everyone in the room. I obviously know Tyrone and Yvette, but you know what it feels like? It feels like what our theme is: together we are strong, right? Together we are strong.
Right.
Or you could even say together we are stronger. It feels like a revival in the community, like we're all finally coming together to support all of our causes. We're very honored to be a part of Give Big 2019. And again, all nonprofits, big or small, they have a formula, which means they need money to support the programs and activities that they offer. El Centro de la Raza, God Is, all the other organizations, FAST. $5 means a lot for an organization that gives so much. We like to say too, we give, you give, and together we're strong. That's the formula that all nonprofits have. So all of your contributions mean a lot to organizations to support our causes.
You need a radio show.
Oh,
Yes, she
we
does.
are Rainier
She is
Radio.
You need a radio show. We have a couple more guests that are going to be joining us. Yvette and Ty, I wanted to make sure you guys came down here.
Yeah.
And told us about, what you do. And then again, when we're asking you to support Rainier Avenue Radio, these are the types of individuals who we're asking you to help us, because they're supporting us for the causes that we do, our community programs, the shows that we're able to put on the air when we're out in the community. These are the types of individuals that we are fortunate enough to have who say, we believe in what you do at Rainier Avenue Radio. And so that's why we're saying, hey, if you can give today, give $10. And Karen, how do they give to Rainier Avenue Radio?
GiveBig2019.org/RainierAvenueRadio.
Yeah.
Givebig.org/
No.
Okay. That's why I hear you say it. That's why.
givebig2019.org/RainierAvenueRadio.
All right. And then you can give. And so, Yvette and Ty, I'd like to give you both the opportunity for final words here. Whatever you want to say, if you want to talk about, I want you to talk a little bit more about God is and what why you started that, and then some of the things that y'all do in the community, which I know, Yvette, you and both of you very vested, and you talk about being in multiple places today, just so essential and valuable in our community. And sometimes people don't know, well, here's a couple of the faces of people who are doing the work on the ground in the community that sometimes you may not be aware of, or that in some instances may go unnoticed, but not unfelt. I
want to add to what Kathy was saying before Tyrone started, that all these people in these rooms, we're all community weavers. I mean, we share what we know what we share, and we encourage and support each other for the good of the community. I just wanted to give you congratulations for that, because you not only talk the talk, you walk the walk. That's right.
You know, and I thank that for, and Tony asked me, you know, I had a vision, you know, when I got here, how can I do something that, you know, I was really hurt one time and really hurt myself and down out, and I can't work no more. So I said, well, God, since he started healing my body, what can I do to do something in your community? And so he told me God is. And so as I did God is, and I started seeing myself healing better, because no one, I started letting go of junk in me too, and also healing the community with that. And so I just asked God to give me better vision, and I brought my wife along with it, and she helped me also. You know, we as a team as we worked that thing, you know, and then God said, well, try to bring some nonprofit together, be unity. And I said, well, I can do as much as I can, you know. And so I put my hand out there and just started doing the footwork. I also did the communication part. And so that's how I met you. You know, my wife got
online. That was a cute story too.
You know, and you know, to come to the radio station and to help them through some things. They've been through some things, and this year is they blooming, and it definitely give big to them, y'all. You know, we really want to support our community, because, you know, we need help where we can help someone else. You know, definitely give big to each and every organization that is in Get Big, because, you know, we need your help, and we want to be able to help y'all too. And so God is just out there to help people. And also we got something very working in the divine with the new movement this year. We growing this year, and it's just about getting land and building something for the community, y'all.
All right, but I know I want to do this, Yvette, but I know you have to go. Thank you so much for coming down here. So you know, I want to give you a chance for final words, and then also to let us know how we can get big.
So I want to leave on this note. There's a particular statement at Centro de la Raza that guides our work, and this one resonates with me. It's from the Cuban poet Jose Marti. It is for the children that we work, for they are the ones who know how to love, for they are the hope of the world. And so today, being Give Big, if you feel compelled to give to us, you can go to givebig2019.org and search El Centro de la Raza. If money is an issue, we welcome volunteers. We welcome volunteers all year round. And even though today is just one day, we do this every day. And so I invite you all to join us and see what made me come to El Centro in the first place.
All right, thank you. And thank you for joining us. And you made a good point there. I said, why can't we do this every day? Y'all do this every day.
That's right.
Just don't do it publicly. Yvette, I wanted to give you a chance for final words too.
I think the most important thing I want to express to the community, as far as what we're doing in the community, is that we're on a 2-year voter registration drive. So we go where they're at. Last time we went down to the boat launch, where we'll go down to the boat launch and pass out the flyers about our event tonight. And we're going to be reaching out to the homeless population, the normal outside that range population. And in addition to, of course, keeping our focus on getting housing, because that was sort of a mission statement. But in the meantime, in between time, community, please donate to RainierAvenueRadio.World. we have much love for them because they really are your community radio station. They go out, they broadcast live, not only at the sports events, but at community events like Bam Fest, Rainier Valley Heritage, and Juneteenth, just to name a few. And I admire that greatly because as far as I know, they're the only ones that do that consistently. So show your respect for what they do and give big 219/Rainier Avenue Radio, and you'll be glad you did.
All right. God is in the house.
Yeah.
Thank y'all
Yeah.
for joining us. Come on and have a seat. And you know, you guys don't have to go.
We got that thing tonight.
Oh, that's right. You do have to go. That's what people who are busy doing stuff in the community are busy doing stuff in the community.
That's why I didn't get my hair done before we got here. Otherwise.
But you can catch both of these fine folks on God Is and God Is Inspirational.
Yes.
And his radio program too.
I forgot about that.
And then also on Traffic Jam too.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Come on, have a seat. And no, you stay here. Let me say, okay.
Stay still, Kathy.
Hey, Ramiro. How are you? Come on here. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Come on in here. Come on in here. All you guys come on. Well, I want to start again. Welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio.World. It is our Give Big special show and special program today, where we're excited about having members of our community come in and talk about what they do as well. So let's start out by having you introduce yourself, and we'll start with that. Introduce yourself to our audience and to me. By the way, my name is Tony Benton. I'm the station manager here at Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hi, Tony. Thanks
Hey.
for having us here. I'm Jess Green. I'm the development director at Bikeworks, just down the street.
All right, Bikeworks.
Hi, Tony. My name is Allie, and I am a recycle and reuse coordinator at Bikeworks.
Bikeworks. And so we have a couple other people here I want to get to, but I want to introduce you guys as well. I'll let you introduce yourself.
This is Paul
That's the
Schneiderman.
mic, okay.
I'm not great with mics. I always have a problem with mics, my klutzy side. But it's great to be here. Paul Schneiderman. I work as an attorney in Seattle. I'm also a host of a show, Sports and Stuff at Rainier Avenue Radio. And we're trying to focus on some of the business, policy, legal sides of sports. And today I got a great guest at 2 o'clock, Ron Mix, a member of the Football Hall of Fame.
All right.
So we got a fun guest today, and it's great to be here with all of you. And nice to meet all of you as well.
And another reason why when we say Give to Rainier Avenue, another one of the shows, in addition to having and hosting a show on Rainier Avenue Radio, Paul, we also appreciate your support of Rainier Avenue Radio, and you give in multiple ways to Rainier Avenue Radio. On Give Big Day, we need to recognize that.
Well, I appreciate it. I'd like to do even more. It's a good cause, Rainier Avenue Radio.
And then also Romero in the background. I wanted him to come join us today. Just introduce yourself.
Hey, Romero. How's everybody doing? I'm just here on behalf of Get It Done Salon. We're next door to the radio station. I'm just glad to be here.
And quite a story. Romero has been with us for a while, and we moved into this building, and in the interest of doing what we do in community by being here to encourage economic self-sufficiency and create entrepreneurs, Romero took over the building next door and turned it into a multifaceted center and where now you have created multiple entrepreneurs.
Well, all I know is I'm blessed to be around good people, that we work together well, and we have opportunity to make sure that the community is being seen as people that work together well. So we're just here, we're just here, man. We're just here and trying to get it done. That's it.
Like it.
Bikeworks. Let's talk about Bikeworks if you want, and what you do, and you're part of Give Big.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you probably, these guys are going to say you're going to hear this over and over again. But let's go ahead, have a seat, or however you're most comfortable.
I'm fine.
Okay. I want to make sure we can see. Can we see? Yeah, we can. No, we can see you. Okay. I want to make sure.
You want to see here? Sure. Okay.
What is Bikeworks? Give us some information for our listeners. Tell us who and what Bikeworks is.
Sure. So we are a nonprofit. We promote the bicycle as a vehicle for change to empower youth and build resilient communities. And we do that in a number of ways. A lot of people know us for our used bike shop in the Yellow House over on Ferdinand. We also fix up thousands of bikes every year. That's what Allie does. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So yeah, part of our community effort is also one that focuses on like an environmental impact. So we are donated over 7,000 bicycles a year through the different different transfer stations in all of King County. My department receives all of those bicycles, and we will allocate those resources. We will take in a certain amount of bikes to be sold and refurbished in our repair shop. We take in another portion of bikes to be fixed up by volunteers and given away in our community programs. We actually have a big giveaway coming up, our Kids Bike-a-rama, where we'll give away over 250 kids' bikes to community members in South Seattle. So yeah, we are definitely pretty busy right now, but
And then in addition to the bike giveaways, we also teach bike repair to youth and adults. So anyone can come by Bike Works. You don't have to have any experience, and you can learn how bike works, how to fix up your own bike, how to have fun on that bike, and how to fix up bikes to give away as well.
And for folks who want to give to, this is where we start doing this, and you know I hammer this. How do we specifically give to Bike Works today and give big?
So our fundraising goal for today on Give Big is $20,000, and that will all go to our bike giveaway programs. We're planning on giving away 850 bikes this year, which is more than we've ever given away before. So we have a pool of donors who have pledged to match every dollar that is donated today up to $20,000. And last time I checked, we're about $15,000 of the way there. So if you want to be part of that, you can go to givebig2019.org/bikeworks.
Okay. One more again. What is that? How can we do this?
Go to givebig2019.org/bikeworks.
So I'm going to do a personal shout out for Bike Works. We had the opportunity to do a bike fundraiser with Bike Works. Was it last year? I think it was, and it was just a great experience in finding out more. And then this thing, Bike Works is also a sponsor of Rainier Avenue Radio. Bike Works has sponsored our basketball season, and also sponsors our Metro Sports Weekly program, which airs once a week. And Bike Works said, you know, we'll just sponsor for an entire year. And so this is something that you may not know about an organization like this that does so much in the community, that it provides transportation is important on a bike for a number of reasons. Some people it's the only, and I'll let you talk more about that just for folks who say, yes, you do put bikes together for youth, but then bikes are essential. But then again, just so that you know, part of why we are here today and why we are able to broadcast today is a sponsorship that we got from Bike Works. So
great.
Y'all do wonderful, amazing things in the community, and part of the opportunity to bring you on for something like this is to get people read the name, but then to find out more who the folks are who are involved. So I want to find out, but what got you personally, why are you at Bike Works? Why Bike Works?
I was very attracted to Bike Works' accessibility model. I think that they do a lot of really important work regarding providing access to bicycles for all peoples. You know, lots of bike shops in the Seattle area are very gatekeepy and are out of people's price ranges and are very, very far away. One thing that Bike Works does that I think is amazing is we have a bike mobile that we take to areas and neighborhoods that don't have access to a bike shop. And so all summer, 5 days a week, that's at different South Seattle neighborhoods to provide free bicycle repair to those communities. So I personally was just very attracted to the accessibility model and the idea that, you know, bicycles should be something that all peoples can have access to as a way of transportation, as a way of empowerment, as a way of staying healthy. It definitely is a very community building process in order to provide those resources and share them with our community. So I think it's awesome.
Let's talk about that accessibility model. That's kind of what I was getting to. We were talking about bikes. Just share some information with us about because about the model and how it got started and how it evolved. And again, for folks who may not be aware, the importance that transportation and bikes provide on our community.
For sure. So Bike Works has been around since 1996. One of our founders owned a pedicab company back in the day, and with the few proceeds that they got from the sale of that company, bought a little yellow house in Columbia City and got a bunch of people together to figure out how they could start a community organization around bicycling. And since then, the organization has grown a lot, and really we focus on serving Southeast Seattle because a lot of
Southeast Seattle.
Yeah, Southeast Seattle.
Southeast Seattle.
Here we are, still going strong down here. Yeah, I think cycling can represent so many things to people: freedom, healthy transportation, community access, and especially in the South End where we don't have as many infrastructure options to get around. I think it can really be freeing for people who need a free mode of transportation to work or school. So we're really committed to making sure that everyone has access to that. All of our programs are either free or sliding scale because we want to make sure that there are no barriers to entry participating in our youth and adult programs. And so I was really drawn to BikeWorks by kind of the intersectional nature of our work, and you could come for a variety of different reasons and then meet people who are coming for different reasons, but we're all here because of bikes. I will say that we do this work every day. We rely on community support in a variety of ways, and there's a few other ways to support BikeWorks. You mentioned bike drives, that you collected bikes. We need bikes all the time to keep our work going, and we're right now particularly looking for 20-inch bikes to get ready for this bike giveaway on June 15th for kids ages 4 to 8. We're also looking for translators at Kids Bikerama to make sure that people who speak a bunch of different languages can have easy access to that event that day and feel welcome. So if you speak Somali, Amharic, or Arabic, those are the translation needs on June 15th at our bike giveaway that we haven't filled yet. So that's another way to support BikeWorks.
Okay, and really quickly, I'd like both of you to reintroduce yourselves to our audience again and let them know who you are. And then you know what I want to know after you do that. I'll remind you if you don't, but just reintroduce who you are, what you do with BikeWorks.
Yeah, my name is Allie, and I work as a recycle and reuse coordinator at BikeWorks, so part of the environmental side of the team that takes in all of the bike donations and allocates those resources.
And I'm Jess Green. I'm the development director at BikeWorks. And if you want to support us on Give Big, you can go to givebig2019.org/BikeWorks.
And everything makes a difference. Some of you may be able to give $20. Some of you may be able to give $50. Somebody might be able to give $10. But you know what? If you can give $1,000, give $1,000. If you can give 5,000, give 5,000. If you can give 10, give 10,000. What BikeWorks does in our community is amazing, and the model that you've created. You know, if you again, that's why I want you to. It's not just a place that you go to buy bikes, and it's not just a place that you go to get your bike repaired. Your engagement and your involvement in this community extends way beyond that. It's understanding the needs of the community and the role that you play and that you can play in the community for what you do. So just again, thank you for what you do. Don't go anywhere. You can stay here unless you have to go. Ramiro, I'm going to have Michelle come and sit over here, and then also come on over here, sir. I'm going to get you to talk on the mic for a second too. I want to get you know. You guys stay here.
I'm just going to make a little room. I'll move
Okay.
Yes, me too.
Well, Kathy, well, we'll see. Kathy, before, because I think I'm gonna have Michelle sit over here. But before you go,
Okay.
why don't you grab that mic and tell us again, Fathers and Sons Together and how folks can give to you. And Michelle, come on over here and have a seat.
Thank you. Doing some juggling around here. So, so Fathers and Sons Together, you can find us on givebig2019.org and search for Fathers and Sons Together. And we'd appreciate all donations, $5, $10, the 1,000, 5,000, whatever you're comfortable with. And like the other organizations also mentioned, if you are not able to give, you can also search our website and volunteer. Volunteers are always needed. We are delighted. We just had a dad and daughter day. Imagine that. That was amazing. Our focus is on fathers and sons. That's our mission, but it's really about families. So mothers, daughters, all father figures. So we just hosted a father and daughter day, and that was simply amazing. And all of our programs and activities are free. We work really, really super hard to host events and programs that support our community. But it's also with a no excuse policy. There's no excuse for you not to come, right? There's no excuse to not come to anything. It's all free. We have amazing activities. We have amazing facilitators and speakers. And you're able to embrace all of that just by coming. So your donations go a long, long way. It allows us to have phenomenal speakers, phenomenal activities and programs to support our families in the Southeast Seattle area. We're also excited to have in the midst a lot of organizations that we also support. Atlantic Street Center. We love to do some things with Bike Works. We're planning a family bike and ride day, so we'll have to connect with that. And Rainier Avenue Radio, we all love you guys very much so. And so together we are strong. We give, you give, and together we are stronger. So thank you for having me. And if you are able, you can give big at givebig2019.org, Fathers and Sons Together.
I didn't even have to prompt you that time. Thank you. So come on back over here. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll let this trend. You're listening to RainierAvenueRadio.World, our special Give Big program. Okay. And I want to introduce Mark Bryant. Thank you, who does a fitness program on Rainier Avenue Radio called Fitness Corner.
Yes, I do. I'm Mark Bryant. Yes, I'm the host of Fitness Corner right here on RainierAvenueRadio.World. Yes.
And tell us a little bit about your program and the goals of the program.
Well, the goal of the program is just to get everyone fit. And if you're already fit, then get fitter, right? What word is that? But the goal is just to teach you about exercise and get you to understand that it's more than just moving. It's a way of staying healthy. And so how do you take care of yourself every day? I do things what I call functional exercises, and that means the type of exercise I teach you is something that can be used every day in your everyday life, whatever you do. So it's nothing that you wouldn't normally do. For instance, sitting down and standing up. You're sitting on a chair, you're sitting on your couch, you got to get up. So we do an exercise called squatting, which you sit down and you get up. But it's technique to that. So I teach you the proper technique, get your legs strong so you can be able to do it. And that's what we call functional training. So it's not bad for everyday use.
And it's at least every Friday live.
Every Friday, yeah.
Go ahead.
Every Friday live at 11:30 to 12.
Yeah.
Right here.
And so you'll be back next Friday, this Friday, live again.
Yeah, and what I do, I'm here every Friday live right in the studio. And what I do is sometimes I do exercises standing up, but I realized, because I warm up with aerobics, then I go into strength training with weights. Or I tell people to use light weights or bands, whatever the case may be. And I started to do exercise sitting down in a chair because I noticed a lot of people who can't get up and exercise. So I do chair exercises. And although you hear the word chair, it's not easy. It's still hard because you got to work, but it's just as effective as standing up. So really, there is no excuse. I would like to see people try to do a little exercise each day, be it standing or sitting, because if you can do that all the time, and you don't have to do an hour, it could be a half an hour or 15 minutes, what's going to happen in the long term is going to promote your health, and you're going to be able to keep your independence, particularly as you get older. So it's very important, whether you start when you're younger or senior, keep it up, because the goal is to keep your independence. You don't want to end up without your independence and relying on other people. I wouldn't like that, and I'm sure you wouldn't either.
Thank you, Mark. I just wanted to get you on. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for coming by.
Okay, now I gotta go work with another client.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on over and get to see. And I'm gonna pass this over here to make sure I know we got that one too. But also joining us on the show from Atlantic Street Center, And again, a big part of our community here on Give Big Day. And the way I've done this is I just let everybody introduce themselves. And so I'll start with having y'all reintroduce yourself. Have you met these folks before?
No.
And so I assume in some capacity you have, or we'll start with you, and then we'll go over, and then everybody can. And again, I'm Tony Benton. I'm the station manager here at Rainier Avenue Radio.
And I'm Jess Green. I'm the development director at BikeWorks.
And I'm Allie, and I am a recycle and reuse coordinator at BikeWorks.
I'm Michelle Mitchell-Brannon. I'm the Youth Development and Education Program Manager at Atlantic Street Center.
My name is Teresa Everett, and I am the Resource Development Officer at Atlantic Street Center.
All right, so let's find out about Atlantic Street Center. Either one of you can start. Tell us who Atlantic Street Center is, what you do, and who you serve.
Okay, so I'll start with our mission, and our mission recently changed, so forgive me if I get it a little wrong. The mission of Atlantic Street Center is to help families and communities raise healthy, successful children and youth through direct services and advocacy for social justice and equity. I think I got it. So that's a lot. That's a lot because we have a lot of programs going on at Atlantic Street Center. So whether we are helping young mothers, young teen mothers with their children, teaching parenting classes to single parents, helping grandparents raising children for the second time around, or one of the main goals that we have is to graduate every child. We have a lot going on at Atlantic Street Center. So our core programming areas are early learning, youth development, family support, mental health counseling and case management, domestic violence, and homelessness prevention.
Wow. So let's do this really quickly because we're going to talk some more. Who, if you would like to give big to Atlantic Street Center today, all day, how can they do that? Where does the link, how can they give to Atlantic Street Center?
You want to go to GiveBig2019/Atlantic Street. So I just blinked on the site. GiveBig2018.org.
Is it give, what is it?
Yes.
What is it? Is it Give Big?
GiveBig2019.org. Yes, GiveBig2019.org/Atlantic Street Center. So you definitely want to look for Atlantic Street Center in the listing of nonprofits to give to. There are many worthy organizations out there. Of course, we like to think that Atlantic Street Center is the best, but whatever your cause is, whatever your favorite causes are, please give today.
So, Michelle, let's talk a little bit about what you do at Atlantic Street Center.
Well, I am privileged to be able to work with our youth development program, and our youth development program are after school programs and also in school programs, and we teach a lot of life skills, personal growth, leadership, but also we want to make sure that youth have the opportunity to get that one-on-one tutoring where they may not get that support at home in school. Like Teresa stated earlier, some of these are teen parents who don't have the support, so we want to make sure that we have tutoring available to them. Also the kinship providers to those youth where we have these kinship folks who are raising kids for the second and third time actually. And that math, have you seen that math? Yes. You need to go to college for that math. No, I'm kidding. The math that they're teaching. So we're making sure that we're supporting these families, to be able to, make sure that those kids are successful in school.
We had someone else in here earlier who said she's a math nerd and she's excited about Give Big because it's her opportunity to support creative people. And I said, shout out to all the math nerds.
Awesome. So that's one of the programs. The other programs that I work closely with is the Teen Parent Program. And so our young parents are anywhere from 11 years old to age 24. And so that's making sure that they are getting connected with the support they need in school. If a lot of them are homeless or unstably housed. So think about, we're about like 62% that are homeless or unstably housed. And so we're trying to find adequate and safe and stable housing for them. Also with the goal of making sure that they stay in school, go on to the next grade level, graduate, go to college, and get into post-secondary education. So we want to make sure that they're getting connected to that, as well as jobs and employment. So we do a lot of career exploration around non-traditional jobs, so that they can see that they can be very self-sufficient in various employment capacities. So
Y'all do that well together. You should just host an Atlantic Street Center show. We're almost out of time, and I wanted to make sure that we got y'all on to talk about what you do here. But before we go any further, what's that URL to give big to Atlantic Street Center?
It's givebig2019.org is the site.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go to givebig2019/Atlantic Street Center to give directly to Atlantic Street Center.
That's right.
Atlantic Street Center.
Yes.
And you've talked a little bit about the programs, and you've talked a little bit, but talk a little bit more about the history of Atlantic. Over 100 years in this community.
Right. Atlantic Street Center was founded in 1910. So we've been in the Rainier Valley community for 109 years. The core services remain the same. The population just looks a little different. When we first started out, we served Italian immigrants because that was a primary population in the area. But now we primarily serve African Americans and other people of color. So we serve about 5,000 individuals a year. And we try to provide those services that are basic needs for families, things that are going to help the child thrive and help families and communities take care of our children that are in the community. So we don't replicate things like, for instance, we're not going to replicate Bike Works. We're going to collaborate with Bike Works. They're the experts at what they do. If it's beneficial and it's in the best interest of our children, then we're going to take part in that. We're going to reach out to our community partners and say, these are families and children that are in need. Can you help us provide the best opportunity for them? Because ultimately we want them to be self-sufficient and we want them to succeed. So Bike Works is another opportunity so that they are healthy, they're active, they're getting around safely, and they're learning skills as well. So that's another partner that Atlantic Street Center has partnered with our Summer Academy program. Our Summer Academy program is right across the street from the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We partner with Damascus Baptist Church for the space. They give us a very deep discount on the space for the duration of our Summer Academy program. And so we don't look at that as our as our landlord. We're not just a tenant. That's a partnership because they're vested in the success of our programs and our children. So we're looking forward to partnering again with Bike Work because we've done that in the past.
Yes,
and so there are other organizations as well that we collaborate with on a regular basis.
And I want to give a shout out to Atlantic Street Center for reaching out to Rainier Avenue Radio. And we collaborated on an incredible effort to engage our community in voter awareness. And we put it together at the last minute, and we ended having folks come from multiple parties to discuss multiple propositions and elected officials and panelists there. And folks came and stayed and asked questions, and really we were able to engage our community and inform our community in the last election. So Atlantic Street Center reached out to us and said, hey, we're going to do this. Do you want to be part of it? And that's what y'all do. You bring community together and pull resources together and again, make it possible as a collaboration for more to happen. And I want to give all, what's that? Give to Atlantic Street Center again? How do we do that?
Givebig.org. So if you just look up Atlantic Street Center and the list of organizations, we should be pretty close to the top. Atlantic Street Center.
Atlantic Street Center.
Okay. And same thing. Thank you so much for coming. And I want to give both of you the opportunity for final words. If there's something else you'd like, well, you know what you have to say, but if there's anything else that you'd like to say, to give you the forum to do that.
Just want to thank our friends from Atlantic Street Center for being here, and thank you, Tony, for having us. I think you're a great fundraiser. If you're looking for a job, you could have mine.
That's right. That's right.
Any last words?
Yeah, it was great to be here. Happy to meet other community partners. It's always good to know stuff that's going on and, lots of opportunities to, be involved in your community, invest in your community. That's going to, bring us all together and empower us to, feel good about stuff. So yeah, it was awesome to meet you guys. And then the Bike Works Give Big is givebig2019.org/Bike Works.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't have to prompt you. And Michelle, again, I certainly want to give you the opportunity, and to say some things that you want to the community members out there. Again, you're listening to RainierAvenueRadio.World. Those of you listening to our predominant audience in Southeast Seattle and King County, but again, we know we have listeners all over the region, all over the state, and all over the world who tune in, and each of you are invited to give to these organizations. And so something you'd like to say to our listeners and our viewers listening from everywhere about Atlantic Street Center as we make this final pitch to make sure that folks give.
Yes, thank you again for having us here, Tony, and all the other community collaborators. I'm just saying this, wherever you invest your dollars, you're investing in community, and you're helping us community partners collaborate. And what we call is wrapping our arms around these families. So you are actually a part of this community hug, and we thank you so much for your investment in families and communities.
And of course, Miss Teresa Everett, any thing you would like to say, which there should be. There's going to be at least one thing you need to say. But your opportunity for you and final words in regards to Atlantic Street Center for our viewers and listeners out there.
Well, a couple of things. First, I want to say to Tony, thank you so much for all you do for the community and in the community. We've partnered with Tony and his efforts on many occasions, and it has always been a success. So thank you for all that you do. I appreciate the opportunity to deepen our relationship with you, also to meet and renew relationships with former partners and new partners, and just want to just really be thankful to be able to have this opportunity to ask your listeners to Give Big, in particular to Atlantic Street Center, givebig.org, and then / Atlantic Street Center. And there are opportunities beyond today, not just with the Atlantic Street Center, but other organizations as well. You can give of your time, you can give of your talents. There are other ways to stay connected and involved with the nonprofit organizations that were featured today. So I invite you to do that. But please keep Atlantic Street Center at the top of your list. BikeWorks is all right too, but keep Atlantic Street Center at the top of your list.
We love you guys.
And continue to collaborate and get involved and connect with our communities and our families.
All right, so thanks to everyone who joined us here from 501 Commons, from Shunpike, from El Centro, from Fathers and Sons Together, from God Is, from BikeWorks, from Atlantic Street Center. Everybody is doing the Give Big today. So you know what? You can take $100 and give $10 to everybody. You can give $100 to one entity, one organization. Special thanks to all our Rainier Avenue Radio staff who stopped by here today. Mr. Mark Bryant and Fitness Corner, Tyrone and Yvette from God Is, Mr. Paul Schneiderman, who's going to be doing an interview here in a couple minutes, Mr. Daniel Bellis, who's been producing the entire show this morning, Karen Zamet from Mojam Mondays, who was here. And the thing about it is Rainier Avenue Radio is Rainier Avenue Radio because we exist to highlight and amplify the diverse voices in Southeast Seattle. And so all of these things are going on in Southeast Seattle. Just pretty amazing. And we know this because we're here every day. And so thank all of you for coming down to share what you do. And again, to let people know that we know what we're doing down here. And we're organizing our community and creating opportunities for our community. And it's because of the passion of individuals and organizations like you that make this community thrive. So thank you. Give big to each of these organizations, okay? Whether it's $10 or $20 or $50 or $500 or $1,000 or $10,000, or if you can do it, get it done. Give us $50,000. And that will go a long way. And you know that it's going to be applied to communities that are looking for assistance, that need you, and led by organizations and individuals who are passionate about what they do. That's about it. That's all the time that we have. My final pitch is give to RainierAvenueRadio.World. This is what we do. And it was important for us to make sure that we use this time for more than just to pitch for ourselves because of who we are and what we do. And the biggest thing that we could do with this time was to bring other community members on and share this platform that we are so thankful to have because of the members of our community. So after this is over with, you'll be able to watch it again. If you're listening on the TuneIn app or on our website, go to our Facebook page and you can watch the whole thing all over again all day. And you can give every single time you watch it again if you want to, if you feel so inspired. So I'll say goodbye for now and give big all day long. You can give big to Rainier Avenue Radio at givebig2019.org/Rainier Avenue Radio. Again, you've got Bike Works, you've got Atlantic Street Center. Until we have this opportunity to talk to you again, this is Tony B for Rainier Avenue Radio on behalf of all of our guests who are participating in Give Big today. Remember, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you are probably right. We're out. Peace.
Phew.